Hello, everyone. This is Ray, and today I'm going to be talking very quickly about a specific skill for the carriers called Hidden Menace and why it should never be taken unless you are basically trolling and you know about the consequences. So, the skill Hidden Menace, why should it never be taken? Well, first of all, let's talk about what it does, right? So, we'll just go down the list. It lowers your ship's concealment by 15%, not your planes, your squadrons, only your ship concealment. It reduces the DCP consumable cooldown time. It also lowers the safe altitude by 50%, but the trade-off is your air squadron return time, the return speed is cut by 50%. So I'll explain a little bit how this essentially carriers operate with their return squadron. So when you press the return key or when you release an ordnance for your controlling squadron, what happens is the planes will start going straight up to the sky to the safe altitude at cruising speed. So whatever your cruising speed is, in this case, let's say the Shinano torpedo bombers at without the captain skills speed is 144 knots. So this means after they are recalled, they will be going up to the safe altitude at 144 knots, and then return back all the way. You can see them returning in the sky. They are untouchable by anti-air or anything. So they are safe. And once they reach that safe altitude, they will return to the carrier. You will essentially see them on the minimap for the most part, but there is a situation where sometimes those planes entirely just disappear. You can't see them, but I'm not sure if they are actually gone or if it's just a visual bug that has never been fixed. That's basically how the return system works. So when you take Hidden Menace, you're essentially cutting that return safe altitude by half. And you can actually see when the planes stop taking anti-air damage. If you are using the squadron HP mod, it's very helpful to actually keep track of these things. Our torpedo bombers return at 144 knots, but if we take Hidden Menace, it'll cut that by half. So you're essentially kind of killing your planes. They stay in that anti-air zone much longer. Some kind user on Reddit, this is a pretty old post from 4 months ago. I'll show it on screen now. They actually did testing with it. This is someone using Hidden Menace on FDR who has very high squadron HP. As you can see here, it has 60,000 torpedo bomber, right? This is for the entire flight. And he is taking Hidden Menace and he is facing up against a Shimakaze. Shimakaze has no AA skills, no AA upgrades. He's not going to be using priority sector. And this is when the flak starts to spawn, right? This is when he recalls at the max, Shimakaze's max flak range. I don't know if you can see that number, but this reads 59,865 HP right now. Goes ticking down, takes 50 damage per tick. Boom. 55. 50. 44,000. And I don't know if you can see there, very briefly, there are these moments where it just stops taking damage and the HP just retains itself and then it takes another chunk of damage. So what's essentially happening is right now, throughout this whole entire time, it's taking continuous damage and then the large chunks of HP being erased, that's the flak clouds that the Shimakaze is producing. And the flak clouds are produced by this point where the HP just stays the same. That is where the 44,000 mark is where the safe altitude cutoff is with Hidden Menace. Usually it'll be going much higher into the sky and then returning, but this is where it is because it's cut by half. You have to also remember that it's also going half speed. So all of these flak that is pre-rendered, essentially what is happening is the flak spawns. Now, squadron eats it. Takes continuous damage, flak spawns, another chunk, 14k. Continuous damage, another flak spawn, down to 10k, right? This is essentially what is happening, and a lot of people don't realize this, because most of the time, when you're controlling your squadron, you do your drop, you recall, you look at a different direction, and you send out your other squadron, and your camera is fixated on the new squadron that you're controlling. You're never really looking at the squadron that you're recalling, because you would assume it's safe to just not worry about them. But this individual found that this is not the case. This is a very, very game-breaking bug, which should not be in the game. And mind you, the Hidden Menace has been a thing for what, 2 years, 3 years now, with the carrier, the commander skill rework for all the classes. Then this is something that actually shocked me. But I will also show my own clip when I did testing in the training room with my friend. So here's the clip of me using Nakhimov, because I noticed that this happens a lot with the Nakhimov, or any Soviet carrier, where when you strike someone and you release the ordnance, they would take continuous damage, and then all of a sudden, boom, the entire squadron HP is wiped out. It's like 1,000, 2,000 squadron HP remaining, but all the planes are still, they all survived. So this is me running Hidden Menace with the Nakhimov. Flex spawns, I recall, and 11,000, 10.9, all the way down, boom, chunk 8.8, boom, continues 6.5, boom, 1.4. And I was like, okay, this is the very first run that we did too. Second run, torpedo bombers now. You still see the planes are still falling down from the sky. Recall 12.2k, 12,000, 11,000, and now boom, 9,000. It eats another flat cloud, boom, 7.8. Now let's try again with the skip bombers. This time I wanted to see if I lower my plane's altitude on purpose, and then recall what happens. 11,000. So it's just taking continuous damage. The damage stopped there for a second at 10.9, and then a chunk, 7.3, stays, and then down. Okay, well, that's another example. We'll cut it to this one, skip bombers. But you guys get what I'm saying, right? It does the continuous damage like normal, and then the squadrons eat the flak, and then the damage stops, and then it eats the flak again. This stops, and then it eats the flak again. Like it's a very consistent thing. It's kind of crazy how it's been in the game for this long, and nothing has been done to fix it. Maybe it has been attempted, but it was just never. Like, I remember them announcing there was one time that they actually tried to attempt it, but nothing really changed. They adjusted something with this skill, but it didn't fix it. It didn't fix the core issue with this. So, I mean, yeah, I'll just let the clip run in the background one more time so you can take a look at it. But this is pretty much what I just wanted to say. I wanted to show people why the skill was broken and why it should never be taken on any carrier ever. Because it doesn't matter who you're striking. It doesn't matter if it's a destroyer with 0 anti-air. They're still a high threat because of this bug. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.